What is up, beautiful people? My name is Helen, aka Ordinary Fit Girl. Welcome to the Fasting Files and welcome to my channel. Quick disclaimer before we carry on. Just to let you know, this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. It is not to replace the good advice of your doctor who has studied for many years to give you said good advice or advice from your nutritionist. This is just information based on my experiences, so again, consult your doctor. In today's video and in this episode of the Fasting Files, I'm going to be telling you guys my experience with using IF to lose 30 pounds and to keep it off, and how I plan to lose a good 20 pounds more. I am breaking my fast today at 20 hours and 43 minutes. I'm feeling hungry now. So anything after 16 hours for me, it's a plus. I've been on set today, hence the beat face. So I'm finally home and about to break it with a green juice. So cheers, guys. Oh, I love breaking my fast with really healthy stuff. I'm saving the fast on the app, as you do, and then it counts you down until your next fast. And this is why I love the Zero app. If you're somebody that's new to fasting or you're looking for an app to track your fast, sorry, mouth's a little dry, it's the harmattan in this region of the world. Yes, I would recommend the Zero app. All right, let's get into it. I don't know if I've mentioned that I've written down notes, so if you see me looking down, I'm just trying to save you guys a waffle, okay? I want to get straight to the point. I want to give you guys as much information as possible. Here we go. So I've lost 30 pounds and I credit that mainly to intermittent fasting. If you don't know what intermittent fasting is, it's not a diet, it's just an eating pattern. You fast for a period of time, you feed or feast for a period of time. Now, what makes intermittent fasting a thing is that, of course, we all fast every day. When you go to bed, when you're sleeping for 8 or 9 hours, you're fasting, and that is because you're not eating. Unless, of course, you've got superpowers where you can eat in your sleep, and then high five to you, because I don't know why I'd be high fiving you, but high five to you. But you fast every day of your life, because there are periods where you're not eating, especially when you're sleeping. You have a good window of fasting. Now, what intermittent fasting does is prolongs that period even longer than your regular 8, 9, 10, 12 hours in between meals. The 16-hour window of fasting, I think, is the minimum when it comes to your girl can't speak. Intermittent fasting. Anything longer than 16, you're really getting into it. So I do, as a rule, a minimum of 16, but I do anywhere between 16 and sometimes 23 hours. I feel like the longer I fast, the more benefits I see. Naturally, my eating window then starts to shrink. So if you do a 16-hour fast, you're eating for 8 hours. 17 hours fasting, you're eating for 7 hours. 18 hours fasting, you're eating for 6 hours. You catch my drift. And when I say you're eating for 6 hours, I don't mean you're eating all throughout that eating window. You've got to be sensible with how you approach intermittent fasting. Like I said, it's not a diet. You're not here to restrict yourself. You're eating how you normally would, but in a shorter period. The catch, however, is that if you have a smaller window, you're not inclined to eat as much. Your appetite, after a while, becomes really regulated. And I know that some people might argue that intermittent fasting is not an intuitive way of eating. But to be honest, since I've started practicing intermittent fasting, I feel like I've been eating even more intuitively. When you wake up in the morning, the food industry would like you to believe that as soon as you wake up, you should eat some food. That isn't the case. And intermittent fasting and its users are the proof that you don't need to wake up first thing and then eat. After doing intermittent fasting for over a year now, I cannot imagine waking up and then the first thing I want to do is eat. Unless I've had, a really heavy night out on the town, and then sometimes I fail, which is fine because I get back on the wagon. it's fine, guys. You can fall off, just jump back on. A little bit of a background story to my weight loss is that in May 2018, I had returned to London from Accra. I'd had the most epic 30th birthday party. I'd had all the treats, all the fun, and I knew that I had piled on the pounds and I could feel it. And it wasn't even just for my 30th. The year had started off with me feeling definitely heavier. I went to Boots and then I weighed in. But the funny thing is I didn't actually look at the results. So Boots Pharmacy has this massive scale that you stand on. You weigh yourself. It gives you your height, body fat, and your weight, I think, and some other body composition information, and it prints it out. So as soon as it printed out the ticket with all that information, I put it into an envelope and I put it in my bag because I just knew that the results were something I didn't want to see. I thought, let me put this in my bag and then I will start to do things differently, and I know that I will see results because I have yo-yoed throughout the years. I feel like I've almost been every size apart from super skinny, but I've, you know, gone through the days of doing, when I used to eat meat, doing keto, and then high carb, vegan. I've gone from the days of doing half marathon prepping and lots of running. My body has been through the ringer. So I thought, you know what, I'll pick one of these things that I've done in the past, stick to it, and it's a no-brainer. I'll be in a calorific deficit, I'll be exercising more, and things will progress as they should. Sadly, that wasn't the case, and I knew that I was working out hard, and everybody knew I was working out hard, but for some reason I couldn't shift the pounds. I feel like I was definitely eating in a surplus, which is how you pile on the pounds. So even though I was working out hard, I was piling on the pounds. And if you know anything about exercising at the gym, even though you're burning calories, I feel like most people think that that's where the bulk of the deficit happens, but that isn't it. What you do outside of the gym is really what determines how much of a deficit you have. So your NEAT is something that I'm going to write down below because I don't remember what the acronym is, but it's all the other things that you do that burn calories. Even just breathing, talking, sleeping, all of that stuff adds up to your deficit in a day. So if you think just by going to the gym hardcore for an hour means that you can eat anything on the planet, you will be sorely mistaken. And also, if you're somebody like me, whilst I loved doing HIIT and I still do it now, I feel like my body had a very stressful response to doing such high intensity interval training. It triggered my cortisol, my stress hormones, I wasn't sleeping well, and all of this was a recipe for disaster. So fast forward to something like September 2018, I went and retrieved the envelope that I had tucked away after getting a weigh-in at Boots Pharmacy. When I tell you, I was shook when I read that piece of paper that said, in May 2018, I weighed 193 pounds. I don't know if I looked it. Looking back, I feel like I did look definitely, you know, almost 193 pounds. I think I was carrying most of that in my stomach, my upper back, my arms. I think my legs, for the most part, remained fairly okay. You could see it in my face as well. And I was shocked. I never thought I would get up to that point. At my smallest weight, I was 100 and something like 55 pounds in 2014. I really never saw myself getting bigger than 170 pounds. I was shook. So of course I kind of kicked my ass into gear, and then I started researching how to do things differently, and I stumbled across intermittent fasting in the later parts of 2018, and I have not looked back. The first week of intermittent fasting was a little bit difficult. I'm not gonna lie, I'd never really thought about food in that way and given my stomach and my digestive system a break. I'd never really thought in that way. I just didn't even know it was a thing, and how much that plays a role in our hormone levels and everything of that nature. I feel like if I had discovered or stumbled on intermittent fasting in 2014 and 2015 when I was at my fittest and I was doing lots of running, I would have been very, very skeptical. I think this is because when people talk about fasting, I think people immediately think starvation. And these are very different ideas. Fasting has been around for many years. People use fasting for spiritual reasons, physical reasons, health reasons, and there are many doctors that advocate fasting for health and weight loss purposes. If you look up Dr. Fung, I think is his name, I hope I haven't butchered it. If you look him up on the internet, you'll find a plethora of information about intermittent fasting and how he uses it to treat his patients who are currently living with diabetes. So I'm gonna wrap it up and I will talk a little bit about the pros and cons that I experience with intermittent fasting and what my plans are moving forward to lose that extra 20 pounds. Whilst I have days that my relationship with food isn't the best, I truly believe that intermittent fasting has played a big role in repairing my relationship with food. There was a time when I was really fixated on food. At my biggest, when I was working out really hard, I feel like I had a really warped relationship with food. Intermittent fasting has done it's done a number on me and how I think about food. I don't feel like I live to eat. I feel like I eat to live. I'm not obsessed with food anymore. Well, most days I'm not obsessed with food. I enjoy my food even more. And let's get into the pros of IF. I feel like I'm telling you some of the pros already, but I wrote them down in my notepad. So intermittent fasting makes me feel like I'm in control. Like today I was out, I was on set, I hadn't eaten. As you guys saw, I was just breaking a 20-hour fast. I feel in control. If this was maybe 2 years ago, I would not have felt in control. I would have been maybe apprehensive and might be thinking, is my blood sugar going to be low? Am I going to be starving? Can I function? Now I know that I can function. If I have to go a little bit longer without food, I feel in control. I would say intermittent fasting has made food even more enjoyable now. Like when I took a sip of this after 20 hours, my taste buds feel renewed. I feel like I've given my taste buds a break. They can appreciate new flavors. And if you've seen on my channel where I've done 72-hour fast, when I break my fast and I document it on there, listen, your girl is damn near an orgasm. Food tastes so good. Sometimes we overwork not just our digestive system but our taste buds. You give them a break and things start to taste brand new. Another pro of IF that I've experienced is better digestion. I feel like now that I give my stomach more time to process the food, I personally feel much better. My stomach doesn't feel overworked. I feel lighter when I wake up in the mornings, and I just feel overall better. I don't have nearly as many stomach aches. It's great for my digestion. Also, I feel like this isn't my first rodeo losing a significant amount of weight, 30 pounds and counting, but I feel like this is the first time that I've felt very confident that the weight will stay off. And that is because intermittent fasting makes it difficult for me to overeat. I feel like for the most part, where in the last say year and 2 months, where I've been doing this year and 3 months, for a good 90% of the time I'm sticking to an IF protocol. I'm fasting for a minimum of 16 hours a day, and I haven't had to struggle to maintain that weight loss. If I've had maybe a couple of days, say at Christmas time or in the summer when my family was here last summer, and it's lots of enjoyment, once I get back on the intermittent fasting saddle, we're Gucci, we're back in action. It has made keeping the weight off very easy. Now, some of the cons that I've experienced with IF include the fact that it's not always very convenient. Your life doesn't revolve around, you know, your food schedule. Well, your life might, but your friends and family's life doesn't revolve around your food schedule. I found that sometimes when you've got an intermittent fast, it clashes with social events, and that can be annoying. Another con that I should definitely mention is that sometimes people with disordered eating or a past that involves an eating disorder might find that intermittent fasting is not for them. Of course, you've got to consult your doctor, consult your nutritionist, consult somebody before you try this type of eating protocol if you have a past with disordered eating. I think that could be a con if that's something that you struggle with or have struggled with in the past. Another con of intermittent fasting is that in the beginning it can be very difficult. It took me a while to adjust, a good 2 weeks. For other people, I know that it takes a lot longer, and that can sometimes be stressful, and that can raise your cortisol levels. Anything that really stresses your body, I don't think is very healthy. So again, it's really, you know, down to the individual. I feel like most people are able to get used to it. Like anything else, it's like a muscle. You build it. You build up the resistance. So you can start off with a 12-hour, 13-hour, 14-hour before you even think about doing a 16-hour fast, and then graduating, like some of us, to doing 72-hour fasts and the like. So that is, you know, a bit of a con. It's not the easiest thing to start off doing, and for some people it can be very stressful on the body. So experiment with it and see how you go. I mentioned in the beginning, I would really love to lose another 20 pounds. I feel like for my height it would put me in a very sweet spot, and I feel like it would help me improve my running, and also I just feel like I'm gonna look bomb 20 pounds later. But I do love how I look at the moment. I'm very happy, but I do think, you know, an extra 20 pounds could really, you know, do wonders for my life. Okay, I don't know how, but I see it in my future, and that's what I'm going for. So moving forward, I'm going to be using the Zero app like I have been the last year and a half. It's amazing. I love data. Anything that collects data and like lets me see where I've come from, I love that. Stats, all those good things, numbers. The Zero app is great for that. I'm going to keep using that, keep looking at my stats, keep looking at my numbers. So that is that for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope there was less waffle. I found that I didn't really use my notes, but let me know what you think. As always, your girl is trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by my birthday in April. Do your girl a solid, okay? Like, give me a belated Christmas present. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.